next season. Also, 8 Achilles injuries happened this year. What the hell is going on with that? And then lastly, we got your top 5 picks of the NBA draft tonight. We will predict who goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the draft. Episode 90 of the X Factor Sportz Podcast starts right now. Podcast, Season 8, Episode 6. It's your boy Jay Mondane. We are on YouTube every Wednesday night. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and of course, follow the X Factor Sportz Podcast on all social media outlets. And also, you can catch the audio anywhere you can listen to podcasts. We got a great show for y'all tonight. So let's go ahead and dive right into it with the quick news. We're going to start with Major League Baseball. The Oakland A's, they have officially broken ground in Vegas over the weekend, so they will be moving to Las Vegas. It's official. We will have another major sports franchise going to Sin City, and they will be starting play in 2028 at the new stadium. So excited to see what that look like. Me and D, we still need to go to a Raiders game and see the Death Star, see what that look like. I heard that stadium is crazy. Want to get there. The Aces are there, the WNBA. You got the Golden Knights there in NHL. All the sports teams are heading there. I'm sure there will be an NBA team in Las Vegas in the next decade. Believe that. LeBron might even have something to do with it. We'll see. All right. Also in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, Mr. 700 million, is getting back in rare form. If you watch baseball over the weekend, he's ramping up the pitching, right? So played in a game over the weekend. I think it was on Sunday. Got on the mound, had 2 strikeouts, and on the other side got up to the plate and hit a home run. So if we get this Shohei Ohtani that we know we got coming in September, October, it's going to be trouble for Major League Baseball. And I'm calling it right now. Shohei Ohtani will be the first player in Major League Baseball history. Probably not even first player in Major League Baseball history. I'm sorry. I'm making a big proclamation, and I'm not even sure. So let me back up. But he will, in his career, win a Cy Young Award and an MVP. You can book it. If he gets back to rare form, where he should be pitching, he will win a Cy Young and an MVP. Not sure if he would be the first, but he will win both. Guarantee that. All right. Over to the NBA. Speaking of the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani, the owner of the Dodgers just purchased or has put a bid on the LA Lakers for $10 billion. The Buss family is going to sell the Los Angeles Lakers. I never thought in my lifetime the Buss family would sell the Lakers. I never thought the Lakers would get sold. They are a cornerstone franchise. Jerry Buss bought them in the 70s, 1979, 1980. Magic Johnson's first year was Jerry Buss and the Buss family's first year with the LA Lakers. This is a sign of the times, end of an era, whatever hyperbole you want to use. It's huge. Why is it huge? Because for $10 billion, and Jeannie Buss will stay on as governor, making basketball decisions while the Dodgers owner takes over as majority owner of the Lakers. Why this is a big deal is because Magic Johnson does business with the owner of the Dodgers as well. So now Magic Johnson, I'm sure forever has wanted to buy the Lakers or have some stake in ownership. He will get his opportunity here, and he can do it because he is a partner owner in the NFL, in the MLB, and the WNBA. So he can do it in the NBA as well. He's not crossing sports, or he's not owning 2 franchises in the same sport. You can own in different sports. So congrats to them, $10 billion. I mean, everybody wins when you got $10 billion to pay up. So congrats to that. Be interesting to see what the Lakers do moving forward and how Magic Johnson will intertwine in the next few years when Lakers ownership changes hands. Then we got some trades. We already know about the KD trade. We're going to get into that later. We got a whole segment about what KD is going to do for Houston. But Kristaps Porzingis goes to the Atlanta Hawks in a 3-team trade. I think Brooklyn was involved, Boston as well. Terrence Mann got traded. George Niang goes to Boston. Some second-round picks get moved around. Crazy. I don't know about Boston's cleaning house. Again, they got new ownership. When you got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum about to be $600 million in cap space between two players, even though it's staggered one year after the other, it's a lot of money you got to pay. So Boston has to get rid of some of that cap hit. The other day, they also traded Drew Holiday to Portland and got Anthony Simons. I tweeted about that. I thought that was a great move. You get younger with Anthony Simons, and you have somebody that can score and put on a show alongside Jaylen Brown while Jason Tatum is rehabbing the Achilles tear. So I thought that was a good move. Did not think the next day, on Tuesday, that we would see Kristaps Porzingis go somewhere else too. So now that tells me they're trying to move this money around, and they got a big cap hit coming in the next couple of years. They trying to manage that. So we'll see what the Boston Celtics look like or what moves they make moving forward. So like I said, Drew Holiday is also gone for Anthony Simons as well. So a lot of things happening in the NBA right after the finals. It'll be interesting to see. Cool. So again, the X Factor Sports Podcast, Wednesday nights on YouTube every week, and anywhere you listen to podcasts audio-wise, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, YouTube Music, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can catch the X Factor Sports Podcast. Catch up and listen to all 90 episodes, all right? Let's get on to this. The OKC Thunder are the NBA champs, okay? I predicted them to win it in 5, so I was way off. I feel like they laid an egg in Game 6, and then they came in Game 7 and won. I know Tyrese Halliburton was having a good first quarter, made 3 out of his first 4 shots, threes. And there's analytics that say when he starts hot or has a big game, they don't lose very many games. Unfortunately, he tore his Achilles, and we'll get into that later as well. But I feel like the OKC Thunder were going to win that series anyway. I feel like they were going to win that game. The way they play at home, the energy they bring, the defense they play with. I feel like if you watch that game, everybody was stunned and kind of shell-shocked in the first half, where OKC kind of took a step back and were just kind of stunned because Tyrese Halliburton was out of the game and because of how devastating the injury was. And then on the other side, you have the Pacers just fighting with sheer will in that first half to make it competitive. And they actually were up 1 going into halftime. And that halftime was probably the worst thing that could have happened to the Indiana Pacers because everybody got to settle down and get refocused. And that's what OKC did. They came back out, got refocused, hit 5 threes in that third quarter, and just took off from there. So they did what they always do to teams. They're one of the best third quarter teams in basketball. Hence the 68 regular season wins. So a lot of people will talk these what ifs, kind of like when KD got hurt in 2019. What if, Toronto wouldn't have won that championship? But we all recognize that Toronto won a championship. You can't have it both ways. So we anoint Kawhi Leonard as one of the all-time greats because he went to Toronto, won a championship. But then at the other side of our mouth, we talk about they wouldn't have won if KD played. You can't have it both ways. It happened. It was unfortunate. Somebody has to win a championship. Toronto did. The same thing happened on Sunday. It's unfortunate. If the Thunder would have lost, everybody would have said they choked. They were the best team all year. They should have won. And they lost to a Tyrese Halliburton-less Indiana Pacer underdog team. So they did what they were supposed to do. You got to reward them. If they have expectations and they meet them, we got to congratulate them. So congrats to OKC. Now, the historic part of this season, this was one of the best seasons in NBA history for a basketball team. Okay. They won 84 games this year, which is fourth all time behind some of the Bulls teams of the 90s, the Golden State Warriors team that won 87, I believe, one year. So you got to show love to that. They won 84 basketball games this year. That's a lot of damn basketball games to win. Okay. SGA had a historic year. One of 4 players now. He's in rarefied air. Kevin Durant's never done this. LeBron James has never done this. Steph Curry has never done this. Magic Johnson has never done this. Right? Larry Bird. None of these all-time greats you could think of, even greats in today's game, have never done what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has done this season. There's only 4 players in history that have done it. Kareem, Shaq, Michael Jordan 4 times, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to win the scoring title, league MVP, finals MVP, and an NBA championship. To sweep the board with those 4 awards. It's only happened 4 times in 80 years, damn near, of NBA basketball. Only 4 players have done it. So what does that mean for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's legacy? A guy that I've repeatedly said, the Clippers quit on him after his rookie year. If you get traded after your rookie season, your first year in the NBA, that team quit on you. The team that drafted you let you go after 1 season. They quit on you. I don't care what they have to say about salary cap or anything. He's making rookie money. You didn't believe in this guy. And he took that and put together one of the greatest individual NBA seasons we've ever seen. So congrats to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, legacy-wise, what are we talking about? His kid's only 26 years old. He's about to get paid a lot of money. Sam Presti has set it up that he has 1 million draft picks for the next 5 years. Shout out to Paul George and everybody else that's come through OKC. J-Dub is going to get paid and Chet's going to get paid. So you're going to take care of all 3 of those guys. Chet is in year 2. J-Dub is in year 3, just finished it. And Shai is 26 years old. So your core is those 3 guys. You build around that. They may lose some guys. Maybe they lose Alex Caruso. Maybe they lose 1 or 2 other guys. But if you keep those big 3 and you build around that, they have the makings of a dynasty. Now, I know I sound crazy. I'm talking dynasty where we're in the age where parity is paramount. Over the last 7 seasons, we've had 7 different NBA champions. The last team to repeat was Golden State in 2017, 2018. I'm aware of it. But the reason I say they have the makings of it is because think of all the teams that won prior to them. They were all older teams. The Nuggets, they blew everything up except for Jokic and Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. The bench, the guys that actually made that core run, they let go of. Milwaukee, they kept Giannis. Chris Middleton got hurt. Brook Lopez is older. They got rid of Drew Holiday. That core is gone. Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum tears an Achilles. Kristaps Porzingis just got traded. Drew Holiday just got traded. So that team is gone. Even if we go to Golden State, they're older. Klay Thompson's gone. Iguodala retires. Jordan Poole's gone. That team's not the same anymore. Andrew Wiggins is gone. We go back to the bubble Lakers. All those dudes is gone. Dwight Howard in the big 3 now. AD is in Dallas. LeBron will be 41 this year. They got Luka. So all of these teams had something happen to them almost immediately, coaching changes. Out of those 7 teams I named, I think 4 or 5 of the coaches have been fired already and replaced. So the way the Oklahoma City Thunder and Sam Presti are set up, and the rumblings were coming about Sam Presti, like, you've been putting together these great rosters and getting these great players. When will it come together in a title? And it did. So you got to give them credit when credit's due. Again, when expectations are met, you still got to congratulate people. So you got to congratulate the OKC Thunder for doing that. The Dynasty talk, where the reason why I'm leaning that way, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win next year, but if you can win 3 in a 5-year span like the Spurs did in the early 2000s, they never won back-to-back, but we consider the Spurs a dynasty, winning in 03, 05, 07. And the reason why they worked so well is because they kept Ginobili, Duncan, and Parker and put all the other ancillary pieces around them, moved pieces, guys retired, Steve Kerr's, Robert Ory's, Steven Jackson left, Steve Smith came in there and got him a ring. Like all these pieces got moved around. David Robinson retired after 03, and they still were able to keep that core 3 and build around it. So what's to say Sam Presti, who's from that ilk, can't build the same thing in Oklahoma City, where they can probably win in 2025, 2027, 2029. Because think, in 4 years, Shea going to be in his prime. He's going to be 30. Isn't that crazy to say? The type of season he had, and he's entering his prime. It's scary. J-Dub ain't there yet. Chet ain't there yet. And the way that the media money is about to come in, the salary cap's going up, so these 3 will be able to get paid, and you just got to build around that. Now you're going to find role players that want to win, like an Alex Caruso, like an Isaiah Hartenstein, veteran presence. If they can keep Luke Dort, some toughness and some defense, if they can keep these guys around, they have the makings of building something here. Now, the problem with the Boston Celtics was they had older guys on their team. They came together and had a magical year. Will they be able to come back in the East? I'm going to count them out this year just out of respect for Jason Tatum, their best player, not playing. But if they come back and win the year after that, they still are in the mix for dynasty talk if they can get another one, within that window. But we're talking about the NBA champs today, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and how great of a season they had. Despite what they went through, they're still a young team. They had to go through the Denver Nuggets, and they had to beat them in 7 games, and they had to beat the Pacers in 7 games. But they figured it out with a young head coach, Mark Dagnall. I think I'm older than Mark Dagnall. So the whole core, the whole organization is young and growing together. So I'm just happy for the Oklahoma City Thunder to get it. I predicted them to get to the finals against Boston, and they made it. And then obviously when the finals came, I predicted them to win it in 5. So congrats to the OKC Thunder. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Do the Oklahoma City Thunder have the makings of a dynasty? Be sure to comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Okay. Again, the X Factor Sportz Podcast. I thank y'all for tuning in to episode 90. This is season 8, episode 6. We are rocking and rolling every Wednesday night on YouTube and anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Okay. Now, we touched on this a little bit in the layup lines and even in the last segment with these Achilles injuries. Get this. We've had 8 Achilles tears this season alone. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when Isaiah Thomas, Dominique Wilkins tore their Achilles, and it was a career ender. Isaiah Thomas' career was effectively over when he tore his Achilles. Dominique Wilkins, I think, came back, but he wasn't the same, as you could imagine. Kobe Bryant had this injury. I would say the best player to come back from an Achilles tear in the NBA is Kevin Durant. He's playing, statistically, his numbers are better in his 30s than they were in his 20s because he's mastered the game of basketball. But that's neither here nor there. The Achilles tears this year, 8 of them. 3 of these guys were on the same team in Indiana, obviously capping it off with Tyrese Halliburton. But in the playoffs, you had Tyrese tear his in the finals, Game 7. You had Damian Lillard against the Pacers in the first round, tear his. You had Jason Tatum tear his against the Knicks in the second round. Now, there is a pattern here that people aren't talking about. There's two sides to this, okay? On the one hand, you have the player who has to make a decision on if they're going to risk playing when they're hurt. There's a difference. So to my casual sports fans that are watching, I appreciate y'all tuning in. But there is a difference between being hurt and being injured, okay? Athletes play hurt all the time. You got to think. I just told y'all last segment, the Thunder won 84 basketball games. I guarantee you everybody that played in that game 7 was hurt. Some part of their body was nicked up. But then there were some players that were injured. When you're injured, you're not supposed to play. Now, the other side of that is the medical side, where you have team doctors that are in place, and they're not just in place to cure or remedy or rehab the athlete. They're also there to protect the athlete from themselves. And this is what pisses me off about this injury in particular. We have a history of, or a precursor of, what happens prior to an Achilles tear. We've seen it happen with Kevin Durant. When you have a calf injury, and I'm emphasizing injury because they were out multiple games. If his calf was just sore, he probably would have played. So I'm taking y'all back to 2019. Kevin Durant missed the entire Western Conference Finals, if y'all don't remember, because of a calf injury. The Toronto Raptors were up 3-1, or on the verge of going up 3-1 on Golden State. And I don't know if it was public pressure. I don't know if it was him putting pressure on himself, the team doctors, whoever it may have been, put him in a position where he felt like he needed to save the Golden State Warriors. And because of that, a result of that, he tore his Achilles in the NBA Finals. Could it have been prevented? We'll never know. But if you have a calf injury, I don't think you should play. I've had soft tissue injuries as well. I've pulled hamstrings, pulled calves. Hell, I'm dealing with a torn meniscus as we speak. I'm not in the NBA, so don't take it for that. All I'm saying is this. I've sustained injuries, and I've been hurt. I've played hurt. But also I understand if I'm injured, I'm not going to play. Now, again, I'm not comparing myself to professional athletes that make millions of dollars, that are trying to win championships and have a legacy. I understand it. It's not lost on me. But stay with me. For the player, the pressure that they have to deal with to play under these circumstances, everybody's situation is different. Now, you take Kevin Durant's situation in the NBA Finals, wanted the three-peat, the pressure's on him to win. The Golden State Warriors are behind Toronto. He plays, and we all know the result of that. Fast forward to this playoff. Steph Curry has a calf injury in that Minnesota series in the second round. He does not play anymore. He said, you know what? I'm going to warm it up. I'm going to work out. Nope, I'm out. His situation is, hey, I got 4 rings already. Are we really going to win a championship this year? Do we have a legitimate shot? Also, I'm not going to tear my Achilles. I've seen this movie before, literally in my locker room. So I'm not going to go through that. Y'all telling me this is a calf injury and not a sore calf. I'm out. I'm injured. Damian Lillard, calf injury. He sits out X amount of games. But then there's pressure to get in the playoffs. This is why you came to Milwaukee, yada, yada, yada. He gets his Achilles torn playing the same leg that he had the calf injury on. It's not a coincidence. I wouldn't have played if I was Damian Lillard. Sometimes the medical staff has to stop these players from themselves. You got to protect players from themselves. They are thinking, I could go out there and play and help my team win. They think differently than normal people. So as a medical staff and as a coaching staff, they got to try to take care of these athletes. And I think they did a disservice to Damian Lillard, if I'm being 100% honest with y'all. Remember, this is real talk, unbiased takes. They did a disservice to Damian Lillard. He should not have been playing. So that happens. Aaron Gordon had a calf strain. Not sure how severe his was. He went out and played on his. Luckily, he didn't tear anything. But I don't know if I would have went out and played on that either. But he may have had the same pressures. We're trying to win a championship. We lost our coach, Mike Malone. We've taken this team to 7 games, the OKC Thunder. But he came out of it unscathed, so to speak. Then you got Jason Tatum. Same thing. It's the same thing. Calf injury. He missed the game because of the injury. Again, if he was hurt, he would have played. It's the playoffs. His teammate, the reason I brought up my meniscus is because Jaylen Brown has the same meniscus tear. And he played because he played hurt. A meniscus tear is different from an ACL or an MCL, right? Or a patella. That's just pain management. If it's not a complete tear, if it's a partial like mine, you can get the shot, a brace, stem, all the things you need to play. And that's what Jaylen Brown did. But these soft tissue injuries, the one Jason Tatum had him out of games in the playoffs. And then he tried to come back, and we saw what happened there. If I'm Jason Tatum, I'm not coming back. I'm not playing. This is going to sound selfish, but he has a ring. Is it worth taking a year of your career away? That's the question these players have to ask themselves. Is it worth taking a year of my career away from me, in my prime, nonetheless, to play in a playoff game? So again, the trajectory is different because you got a Jason Tatum who's 27 years old, young, feels like he might feel like I'll be back. With Steph Curry is 37 years old. And he's like, if I tear my Achilles, I'm done. So yes, the circumstances are different in a sense, but also you still have to think about your career. Is Jason Tatum going to come back and be the same person? Kevin Durant is an anomaly. That doesn't happen. I just named all these players whose careers were effectively gone. Even Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, wasn't the same player after the Achilles tear. So now we go to Tyrese Halliburton. It's game 7. And again, he was in a situation, they were down 3-1 or 3-2, going home in a game 6, and he felt like he should have played. His situation is so different from everybody else's because they had a chance. They were literally 4 quarters away from winning a championship. And on top of that, he had the calf injury, and then he played well in game 6 and helped them win to tie the series at 3-3. So he's thinking of it totally different from anybody else. If y'all saw his Instagram post, I mean, just to paraphrase, he said he would do it again and again if he could, if he had a chance. I salute that. The human side of me says, bro, don't take years off your career like this. The human side of me says that. The athlete says, I feel you. You're 1 game away from legacy, winning a title for a city that's never won one. There were so many things at stake. That's what makes this thing so hard. So it's a case-by-case basis. But you got to ask yourself, is it worth risking your career playing in these games when you have this calf injury? It's happened too many times. I hear a lot of people talking about, the pace of the game is why this is happening. They run too much. This pace is not different. If you are a historian of basketball, you go back to the 70s and 80s, they were playing at this pace. They were putting up 140 points a night. So the pace isn't, I don't think, the problem. They played in worse shoes. They was playing at this pace with Chuck Taylors. All right. They all walking around like zombies right now. But you didn't hear a lot of Achilles tears back then. So I don't know what it's coming from. I can't tell you that. What I'm just saying is a decision has to be made about your career. These franchises don't give a damn about y'all as much as you think they do. They're going to do what's in the best interest of their franchise. So as a player, it's a tough choice to make. Yes, you want to go out and play, but also, what is the trajectory of your career at that point when this happens? So with that, I hope everybody has a speedy recovery. All of the 8 players this year that had an Achilles tear, everybody come back. Hopefully they're better than ever, stronger than ever. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Is risking playing with this calf injury that could potentially and has shown to turn into an Achilles tear, is it worth risking your career to play? Or is it all circumstantial? Y'all let me know. Okay. So let's keep this thing moving. We're going to talk about the NBA draft. I told you this is a heavy NBA episode. And before the draft starts tonight, we got to get into the top 5 picks. This is a mock draft. I'm not saying that these players are going to get picked in this order. I guess I am. But I'm saying it in a different way. Based on what these teams need, this is who should be picked in the NBA draft in this order. So obviously the number 1 overall pick, I don't think there's any debate or argument about it, is going to be Cooper Flagg. Okay. So one, from a business standpoint, you want to sell tickets. You lost Luka Doncic. Okay. You need something to revitalize, rejuvenate the fans. Kyrie Irving's going to be out for a while with the ACL tear. You get the highly touted Cooper Flagg. He can be a great two-way player. He's athletic. He's got a motor. He loves to play defense. He's about PJ Washington size. So if you want to play those two together, we'll see. But you got Klay Thompson as a shooter. Cooper Flagg is used to playing with shooters. You got AD. You got all the size in the world. Derek Lively. Daniel Gafford just re-upped. So this will be a great pick for the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to get the number 1 pick. The WNBA team in town, the Dallas Wings, got the number 1 pick with Paige Buckers. So basketball in Dallas is going to be jumping next season. Cooper Flagg goes number 1. At number 2, San Antonio Spurs. I feel like you can't pass up on Dylan Harper from Rutgers. And with his scoring ability and his versatility, the Spurs need that. You got Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox in the backcourt. You bring this kid in off the bench. Once he learns the NBA game, I don't think there'll be much of a drop-off there. I don't know if he has the size to play the 3. Maybe if you do some small ball, you can put him in. But the way he scores like a pro. Probably not a mistake, his dad being Ron Harper, that he knows how to play the professional game or score like a pro. So I like Dylan Harper at number 2. You can't pass up on him. He's probably the best player in the draft after Cooper Flagg, and the Spurs will probably make that their pick. So I got Dylan Harper at 2. At number 3, VJ Edgecombe from Baylor. Little short guard, can shoot the lights out. The Sixers need more shooting. Jared McCain, we don't know what his status is like in terms of health, but then this is another situation like the Spurs. You got Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain. You get VJ Edgecombe coming off the bench, shooting from everywhere. That's what the NBA is now, spacing and shooting, and VJ gives you that. So I think the Sixers lock him in at number 3. Number 4, you get Con Knippel. Now, on some other draft boards, I was seeing the kid from Oklahoma that might get picked before Con Knippel, might get picked in the top 5, but I'm going to go with Con because of his size. So the kid from Oklahoma is a little smaller, and you already got LaMelo Ball at the point, and you got Brandon Miller at the 3. You need a shooting guard to go with LaMelo Ball, another backcourt mate that can shoot the ball and that's tough, that'll play tough. Con Knippel is a legit 6'5", 6'6". So I think the Charlotte Hornets get Knippel at number 4. And then at number 5 from Rutgers as well, we got 2 Dukies, 2 Rutgers guys, and a Baylor guy. I think Ace Bailey goes at 5. Been hearing that he's not going to a lot of these pro days or training camps at these facilities, but I still think Utah is looking for a guy that is versatile on both ends of the floor, that can help them score as well. And he's got the size, true 6'7", super crazy wingspan. So you put him on there with John Collins, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler. And then you got Jordan Clarkson, who can score the ball, Colin Sexton. So they got a lot of good players. You get an athletic guy that can defend multiple positions and can play the 1 through 3. I think Ace Bailey is the choice. The only hiccup I have about Ace is that he's young, like immature type young. So that translate on the basketball court with bad shot selection, things like that. Hopefully being around Danny Ainge and that program, they can help clean that up. But that's who I got in my top 5 that'll be getting drafted tonight. The first 5, Cooper Flagg to the Mavs, Dylan Harper to the Spurs, VJ Edgecombe to the Sixers, Knippel to Charlotte. He stays in the state of North Carolina. And then you get Ace Bailey out to Utah. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Who's going to get drafted? Again, this show is airing at the same time as the draft, so I have no idea who's getting picked or why. This is just who I think should be picked in the top 5 and the teams they should go to and why. All right. So again, the X Factor Sports Podcast every Wednesday night on YouTube. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, Pandora, anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can catch the X Factor Sports Podcast. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow. Hit that bell at the bottom if you're watching on YouTube. Let everybody know the X Factor Sports Podcast is coming in hot every Wednesday night. Let's get to Kevin Durant, the blockbuster trade so far of the offseason. It happened on Sunday, the day of Game 7. Kevin Durant to the Rockets. Now, I'm not a I told you so type of guy. I'll just let the numbers speak for itself. You could go to my TikTok. Last week, I said the best place for Kevin Durant to go would be the Houston Rockets. Go look at the comments. Everybody told me I was crazy. It was a weak take. You don't know what you're talking about. Sure enough, Kevin Durant gets picked up and traded to the Houston Rockets, and then I get crickets. That's the way it goes in this podcast game. If you predict something or speak your mind and it turns out to be wrong, you get all the arrows. But then when you're right, you get the crickets. So it's all good. But KD to the Rockets, and for every reason that I said he would go, because it fits. Okay? So KD goes to the Rockets for Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and a couple second-round picks. So Phoenix got some of their picks back from Houston that they took a couple years ago in that Brooklyn deal. And because of the performance of Jalen Green, yes, he led them in scoring in the regular season. But when they needed him the most, he did not show up in the playoffs. And that's unfortunate for a young player. Now, hopefully, it doesn't hurt his confidence being traded like that. Hopefully, he's got good people around him, some maturity. Hopefully, this is a wake-up call, a motivation that he needs to get to that next level. But it is still a business. And the Houston Rockets are trying to win a championship right now. Ime Udoka has a relationship with Kevin Durant from being the assistant in Brooklyn. A lot of people didn't know that. And the one thing that they were missing, or they felt like they were missing in that series against Golden State, going to 7 games, was offense. They went through these offensive lows where they couldn't score. They couldn't get a bucket when they needed one. So why not go out and get arguably the best offensive player in basketball in Kevin Durant? And so I'm hearing he's 36 years old. Why are they getting him? They shouldn't do it. When you are a franchise that is trying to win, and you get a player that is on 1 year left in his contract and you have the space for him, you're going to get him, especially if it is a Kevin Durant. Now, yes, he is on 1 year left on his contract. He may do a 1-and-1. He might start doing 1-and-1s like LeBron do for the rest of his career. So he may sign a 1 year extension or 1 year, 2 year with a player option on the back end. Regardless, I think he stays in Houston after this one season. So I think they got the right guy. Now you pair him with Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Alperen Şengün, Steven Adams. They have the core pieces around him where he can lead by example. And I say that because all these other media outlets and shows talk about Kevin Durant's not a leader. The dude's been in the league for almost 2 decades. He does not lead the way you want him to lead. But you know he's going to show up to work every day. You know he's going to play hard on both ends. And when he's healthy, he's arguably still one of the best players in the world. So he's going to lead in that way. He's going to show these young guys how to prepare. He's going to show these young guys how to put the work in, and he's going to show them how to perform at the highest level. And that's why they got him, because it's a young team that doesn't have the experience outside of Fred VanVleet to be elevated to championship levels. That's why you get a Kevin Durant. So shout out to Houston for getting KD. Now, what does this mean for the Western Conference? Okay. The OKC Thunder just won a championship. And I'm sure they're the odds-on favorite to win it all this season or next season. But a lot of things, I mean, matchup-wise, if the Houston Rockets are healthy, they were the number 2 seed in the Western Conference last season, and they just got Kevin Durant. And I would say replacing Jalen Green with a Kevin Durant when you were a 2 seed is an upgrade. So Kevin Durant's impact will be professionalism, hard work, and championship level play, because he's played at that level. So I'm sure people are going to comment on here like, you don't know what you're talking about. KD be jumping teams, this and that. Okay. So remember how we talked about expectations. KD can't win for losing when it comes to his legacy. And he does have a legacy. If he retired tomorrow, he'd be in the Hall of Fame in 3 years. Now, y'all talked about he couldn't get it done in OKC with the pieces he had there. He loses to Golden State, up 3-1, and they lose. And then Golden State loses because they're up 3-1 against the Cavaliers, right? Immediately after they lose the finals, they call Kevin Durant. Draymond Green does, to come and play for them. Nobody gives Golden State flack for calling for Kevin Durant when they were up 3-1. Kevin Durant gets all of the arrows thrown at him for going to that team because he was trying to win. He exhausted all his options in all of his efforts in Oklahoma City. He wanted to play a certain style of basketball. He goes to Golden State. So I'm not going to ramble and make this drawn out. The point I'm trying to make is the expectations for him to win were astronomical. And I would say he met those expectations. They won back-to-back championships, and he was a finals MVP. It ain't like he rode coattails. It ain't like he jumped on the team and that didn't need him. They needed him to win. Every player and every staff member agrees to that. We'd be talking about LeBron James' legacy in a totally different light if Kevin Durant doesn't go to Golden State, because LeBron probably wins 2-3 titles in Cleveland. So again, we can't have it both ways. You can't talk about his legacy is nothing because of him going to Golden State. And then when he goes and meets expectations and exceeds them, say, oh, he didn't do nothing. It was easy. It wasn't worth nothing. Can't have it that way. So we fast forward to Houston. He's going to bring that I don't give a damn attitude. I'm here to hoop, and I'm going to show y'all how to do it at a level that you haven't done it before. No matter what the expectations are for everybody else, I'm going to come out here and play ball. And that's what an Amen Thompson needs, a young player like that. An Alperen Şengün, who's becoming an all-star in his own right, is going to see how Kevin Durant plays at the level he plays and how he shows up for work. And that's what those players need. Ime Udoka is going to be sitting there nodding his head like, this is why we brought him here, to show these guys how to get to another level in their game. So that's what I think. That's what I think his impact will be. He's going to show these players how to get to another level. And I know people are going to say, well, why he didn't do that in Brooklyn? Why he didn't do that in Phoenix? So he did do it in Brooklyn. Okay, James Harden got hurt. Kyrie Irving got hurt. He took them to a game 7 against Milwaukee and had his toe on the line. They lose in overtime. I think he maximized whatever the rest of that team was, got them to the pinnacle of what they could have been. And they haven't been close since. In Phoenix, they were playing above 500 basketball when Kevin Durant played, no matter how bad they were. And when he didn't play, they were one of the worst teams in basketball. And that's with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker on the team. When Kevin Durant didn't play, they were not good. So when y'all talk about he doesn't play winning basketball or he doesn't elevate anybody, just go and look at what these teams' records are when he plays. And y'all let me know what y'all think of that. So that's where I'm at with it. I think he brings that impact of leadership by example and raising the level of everybody else's game based on his play. I think that's the impact the Houston Rockets need to get to that next level. They already have the defensive identity. They already have the playoff taste. They know they can be one of the top seeds in the West, and now they have a guy with championship pedigree and Hall of Fame pedigree on their team. I'm excited to see what the Houston Rockets can do. So y'all let me know what y'all think about Kevin Durant's impact on the Houston Rockets next season. Comment below. Before we get up out of here, you know we got to hit y'all with that 2-minute warning. We're going to talk about accountability, basically. So people are what they do and not what they say. What do I mean by that? It's pretty obvious, right? A lot of people talk about doing things. A lot of people talk about, I'm going to do this, or I want to do that, or I saw somebody doing that over there, so I want to do that. And I want to be a good person, or I want to lose weight. All of these things people say they want to do. And this is the old adage, actions speak louder than words. That's essentially what this is about. Holding yourself accountable and being about action tells me more about the person than what I hear them talk about. So I can have a conversation with somebody, and for me, I'm more of a forward-thinking person. Me and D talk about the future a lot. We talk about what we want to do, things we want to do. But for me, it's like, okay, cool. We've talked about these things. How are we going to do them? What are the actionable items to get us to this place? And that's kind of the way I've grown to live my life as I've become an adult. Actionable items. How am I going to get these things done? And just doing them. Okay. This podcast has been going on for 2 years, a little over 2 years. And it was a talk for a while. I'm going to do my own podcast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get it done. But I was not getting it done. Until one day I said, I'm going to just do it. Danielle, we don't got the equipment. So what? Let's set this up. Poker table behind us. I don't care. Let's just do what we can do. But I have to do it first. I don't care how bad episode 1 looks. And y'all can go back and see it. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't care how bad episode 1 looks. I have to get the ball rolling. And then looking at that, said, I got to get better. I got to make this look better. I got to make it sound better. I got to have the content better. I got to get people to want to watch me talk about sports. And that's where we are today, 90 episodes in. I don't talk about it, I be about it. And that's my message to y'all, okay? If you want to get something done, stop talking about it. Just go do it. What's standing in your way? Is it something that's going to hurt you? Is it going to affect your life in a negative way? Then go do it. Don't talk about it no more. That's my message to y'all. All right. You want to get something done, just go do it. Okay. You are what you say. You are what you do and not what you say. Cool. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the X Factor Sportz Podcast, episode 90, season 8, episode 6. Again, you can always catch the X Factor Sportz Podcast on YouTube. And below, you see all of the social media handles that we are on throughout the week. You see the reels pop up, highlights of the show. So be sure to like those, comment on them, of course. If you follow me on social media, you know anytime there's a comment on any of my reels, I hit you back because I like to engage with the audience. I want y'all to be involved with the show just as much as I am. So be sure to follow on social media platforms. We are over 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, trying to get to 10K. So we appreciate y'all for that. Let's keep adding those subscribers and watch hours on the X Factor Sportz Podcast. If you like the gear, I told y'all last week, the order has been placed. I got shirts coming. So here in the next few weeks, you will see some brand new X Factor Sportz Podcast t-shirts being sported by yours truly. So be sure to hit the QR code or hit me up directly, DM, social media, whatever. Give me your shirt sizes and your colors. We got some coming through. Shout out to Snooch Customs for that. And be sure to lock in. All right. This is Jay Mondane of the X Factor Sportz Podcast. Next week, episode 91, we will dive more into the NBA draft, who got picked and why. Then we got to dive into baseball. We got to switch gears. NBA season is over, sadly enough. Miss D always says, I'm going to lose my husband for 2 months because of the playoffs. So you got me back. But I still got to talk that sports because we getting deep into baseball. This is Jay Mondane of the X Factor Sportz Podcast. See y'all next week. Peace.